Welcome back to the Divine Skins Wiki tutorial series. This is part 2, where we'll dive into recoloring particles using Hacksaw's Splash tool and borrowing particles from other champions with the Stitch function. We'll also go deeper into understanding how bin files work and explain what particle systems and emitters really are. Let's get started. Hacksaw is a tool made by Martinez. One of its features, called the Splash menu, allows us to recolor particles visually by picking actual colors instead of manually editing code. Normally, you would have to find and change values like birth color and color manually inside the .bin files. This can be time-consuming and confusing, especially for beginners. Martinez created a way to display those colors directly inside Hacksaw, allowing us to easily modify them using custom color palettes. This makes particle editing much faster, more intuitive, and beginner-friendly. The Stitch menu in Hacksaw allows us to borrow entire VFX systems from other champions quickly and easily. You simply open your champion's .bin file on the left side and open the .bin file of the champion you want to borrow from on the right side. Everything you need to do is press just 2 buttons, and the selected particle system will be copied directly into your bin. Normally, without Stitch, you would have to manually copy all the code for the particle system and its emitters from the other champion's bin into your own. This process is time-consuming and very prone to mistakes. Thanks to Stitch, this entire process is automated, making it much faster and much safer to add effects from other champions to your mods. Now let's dive into the Splash feature of Hacksaw. For this example, I'll be recoloring Samira's Q ability. The first time you open Hacksaw, it will ask you to select the location of Rita bin. You can also do this manually later by going into Settings and clicking on the symbol that says Select Rito bin. While you're in the Settings menu, you'll also see an option called Ignore Black and White Values. This option should always stay turned on by default. Black and white values are often used for transparency in League of Legends. If you change them by mistake, it can cause particles to bug out or become invisible. However, if you ever specifically want to recolor black or white effects, you can turn this option off temporarily. Now let's go back to Splash and click Open Bin. It's important to know that the particle.bin files can be located in 2 different places, either directly inside the data folder or inside data characters your champion skins. After you select your bin file, you will see a list of containers pop up. Each container is called a particle system. Inside each particle system, you'll find multiple emitters which work together to form the full particle effect. You'll see names like Samira Q Mess or Samira BA Tar. In this context, MES stands for missile, meaning the flying projectile. TAR stands for target, meaning the visual effect that happens when you hit an enemy. For this tutorial, we just want to recolor the Q missile. So let's search for QMS in the search bar. Now we need to select our new colors. Click on the switch icon next to your chosen color palette, then click on Recolor Selected and save the bin. There's also another mode you can use in Splash. You can change from random mode to shift mode. In shift mode, you can directly control properties like saturation, hue, and lightness to fine-tune the particle's look even more precisely. In some cases, recoloring particles inside the bin isn't enough. You may also need to go into the particles folder of your champion, find the .dds or .text texture files, and manually recolor them as well. This happens when the particle color is coming from a texture instead of just being code-based. Once you have saved your bin, open CSLOL Manager, load your mod, and press Run to launch the game. Let's go in-game and see our recolored particles. Now let's get into the Stitch feature of Hacksaw. For this example, I'll be borrowing VFX from Jin's auto attacks and transferring them to Lucian's auto attacks. First, we need to open Obsidian and extract the files from Jin. This is important because if we don't have the correct textures, the particles could end up bugged or broken. After you extract Jin's files, open the HUD folder inside his folder to check which skin number you want to borrow the VFX from. In this case, it's skin 36. Now delete all other skin folders that are not skin 36. Also, delete the HUD folder itself. We only want to keep the clean files for the specific skin we're borrowing from. Next, copy the Jin folder into your mods folder, following the same file path. This way, the textures will load correctly when we transfer the particles. Now open Hacksaw and go to the Stitch menu. On the left side, open your champion's bin file, in this case, Lucian. On the right side, open the bin file from the champion you are borrowing from, in this case, Jin. Now let's search for basic attack effects. On the left side, select the existing basic attack particles for Lucian, then click on the Delete or Clear Selected button. This removes the old VFX you want to replace. Now on the right side, select the basic attack particles from Jin. Click on the Transfer button to move them into Lucian's bin. Finally, save the bin file. Once everything is saved, open CSLOL Manager, load your mod, and press Run to launch the game. Let's go in-game and check out the new VFX. Today, we learned how to use Hacksaw's Splash feature to recolor particles, how to use the Stitch feature to borrow VFX from other champions, and we also explored a bit more about how bin files work. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next part of the Divine Wiki tutorial series.